to the darker side of animation, where stop-motion puppets, haunted houses, and existential dread blend together in a Gothic smoothie. Today I'm giving you a list of green, eerie, and wonderfully weird animated movies that proves that cartoons are not just for kids. Inexhaustible expressiveness, freedom of choosing form, colors, style of narration, angles. That's what we love about animation. So let's get gloomy, shall we? Oh, and today we don't have Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline Jones situation, or The Monster House. It's gonna be something really dark, sometimes art house. So grab your beverage, or what do you have there?
Starting off with something unsettlingly cozy, we have The House. On the surface, it's just a quiet stop-motion film about a family who are moving into a fancy new home. Cute, right? Wrong. This house isn't just a fixer-upper. It's like if IKEA decided to open a haunted mansion section. 3 different stories, 1 creepy house, and a cast of characters that range from talking cats to some very paranoid rats. If Wes Anderson took a job making horror films, you'd probably end up with something like this. Next up, one of my personal favorites. We bring in Extraordinary Tales, a collection of Edgar Allan Poe's most terrifying short stories brought to life. Think of it like a fancy wine tasting, except instead of Merlot, you get served a heaping glass of inevitable doom. Each story is animated in its own distinct style, from black and white sketches to CGI horror, giving Poe's gloomy tales an even darker twist. Oh, and it's narrated by some familiar, gravelly voices like Christopher Lee, because of course it is. Nothing says I'm about to have an existential crisis quite like a Poe story. This next wonderful animated film is too dark for kids and too light for adults. Certainly one of the most bizarrely cheerful dark comedies you'll ever see. Picture a small shop run by a family that sells, you guessed it, everything you need to end it all. But don't let the subject matter scares you off. This film is packed with dark humor, catchy songs, and plenty of absurdity. Now let's step into the unsettling world of psychological horror with Perfect Blue. The timeless story and the complex characters, not to mention the fascinating visual language from start to finish. If you thought Black Swan was disturbing, let me introduce you to the twisted, animated version that'll keep you up at night. Strange, stylish, and intelligent. In the end, it gives you an uncomfortable feeling, almost haunting melancholy and fear. And now for something truly nightmarish, The Wolf House. Imagine a fairy tale gone horribly, terribly wrong. In this Chilean stop-motion masterpiece, a young woman escapes a cult and hides in an eerie, shape-shifting house where the walls themselves seem to be alive. The animation is equal part grotesque and beautiful, with characters morphing in and out of the walls as if reality itself is being unmade. Prepare to question your sanity and maybe redecorate your house after watching. Let's change the mood and style a bit. gritty, urban world with humans and supernatural creatures coexist. Well, mostly. The main character, Alexander Trees, is like your friendly neighborhood detective if your neighborhood happened to be crawling with demons and evil spirits. With a mix of mythology, noir, and action, this series is perfect for those of you who like your horror served with a side of bloody vengeance. Ever get a feeling of a creepy Spanish village who's just a little too quiet? Welcome to O Apostolo, where the quaint charm of rural Spain turned into your worst nightmare. This stop-motion Gothic horror follows an escaped convict who thinks he's about to make a quick fortune, but instead finds himself in a village haunted by restless spirits. Spoiler alert, the villagers aren't big on the idea of letting go of anything. Black and white horror. Classy, right? Fears of the dark takes all that class and wraps it in pure, unfiltered dread. This anthology features a series of short horror stories, all hand-drawn in stark black and white, leaving just enough room for your imagination to do the dirty work. And trust me, it will. This is art house horror in its finest. And finally, we're closing out with something truly groovy. Wizards is what happens when you mix the post-apocalyptic wasteland, magic, and some very questionable animation techniques from the 70s. This film is a surreal blend of fantasy and sci-fi, where two warring wizards, one good and one evil, battle it out for the fate of what's left of the world. And yeah, it's weird, but it's also a cult classic, so grab your favorite, I don't know, beverage, and buckle up for a bizarre and trippy ride.
So there you have it, 9 dark, twisted, but mesmerizing animated films for adults. Whether you're into Gothic mansion, psychological thriller, or post-apocalyptic wizard duel, there's something here to give you the creeps. If you're brave enough to watch them all, let me know in the comments which one messed with your brain the most. And remember, sometimes it's okay to sleep with the lights on. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Maybe.